Oh, that was a bit too short. I think I picked the wrong music file. Oh well. Hello everyone, welcome back to Hut's not F1, Hut's GT3 Assetto Corsa Competizione Gaming League. I got all my streams mixed up for a second there. Welcome back to what is going to be the final round of Season 1 of the GT3 Championship. And it should be known that, as of this moment, the winner of the championship is Istee 104. He won it, I believe, at the last round. It's been more or less no contest since TomTom has not really been taking part as of late. So his nearest competition ended up being Sherlock. Oh well. Maybe we'll have some decent racing today, though, because Istee has decided to give himself a bit of a challenge. You see, he's been racing most of this season in a Ferrari of some description, which is a pretty decent car. But he's decided he's going to take something else to challenge himself today. He is going to be driving that, an Aston Martin Vantage. Now, it's not the best car out there, but, well, we'll have to see how he does in it. He's not got his usual number 104, obviously, because he doesn't have, well...
Green light, show them what you got.
Shush. Honestly, I have better things to do than have this weirdo say green light in my ear all the time. Anyway, right. What are the things I wanted to get rid of? Let's put the stream into performance mode. Oh, those are some funky graphics, actually. The Aston Martin doesn't appear to have loaded properly. I see. Some of the cars haven't loaded properly. Oh, that's a bright yellow Ferrari 296 there. Most of the Ferraris, well, in fact, there's a 488 Metternich, who I haven't seen since the Silverstone round. Lake, Jordan Lake in a 296 GT3. He's using the one that Khalid Malcolm was using last time. Spicy Boy in... oh, I thought it was invisible for a second. Also in a 488. And Brian Wilson is deciding to try his luck in a Ferrari 296 after he has not had a particularly great season in the Audi R8. Number 420 is the first car who was out on track. The Cybre Gorase of Fabian Krebs, who I believe, if I remember correctly, is the name used by a certain Shankstar. Right. Just a few thingies. Apparently we've got practice going on in F1 in Miami right now. It's not too much of a bother that we're missing it. So, oh, that's odd. We've gone straight back to Istee's car here. Broadcasting map. Not map, that's the wrong word. Come on, I want to go to this guy, Krebs, going down the Formula 1 pit straight. But this isn't where the pits are in this version of Spa-Francorchamps. In fact, the pits are going down the hill here towards Eau Rouge and Radion. In fact, the entry is just there, as Krebs will start his flying lap. In fact, he already has. The start-finish line is in the same place, it's just the pits are in a different location. So we're going to go back, wrong way, to this version of the HUD, get a bit more data, some more telemetry. 40 seconds as we go into Lacombe, and then into Malmedy. I have a map of the circuit, so I don't try and, well, so to hopefully not forget the names of these corners. This is Bruxelles. And then we head towards No Name. I think it has a name now, actually, but it's so ingrained into us as No Name now. And I'm wondering if Krebs is going to have potentially invalidated his lap at some point here, as he has gone a little over the white line a few times as he exits Pouhon towards Fagnes, also known as Campus. Which is the other camera button? There we go. A few different camera options. And then through Stavelot, as I've got something in my throat. Paul Frere. And then towards Blanchimont. And then the chicane. It's apparently just called chicane now. It's not called the bus stop anymore, but don't let me hear you calling it chicane. Call it the bus stop, even if it's not the bus stop anymore. Hard on the brakes through the bus stop chicane, and on the throttle again across the line any moment now, and it is a 2:19.9, just at the benchmark. Next along, Christian Dawn, Krebs' teammate in the Cybre Gorase M4, and he goes a bit off-piste. And he's aborted his lap at the final moment there. Someone else, the number 71, that was Sherlock, who's just gone potentially fastest. Spice Boy has just started his lap here. Now here is Istee. This will be interesting to see as he outbrakes himself, goes way too deep into the final, or the penultimate corner there, and Istee has... yeah, he's definitely lost a few moments there. 2:22.422, and it's an invalidated lap time as well, so he hasn't moved up the field yet. Brian Wilson, I think, has just started a lap. No, in fact, I don't think he has. No, he has. My mistake. 2:26 was his last lap, but he is also invalidated. And that seems to be a problem here. We've got drivers in a few different cars. There's Alexei Shlovik. Was in a golden Aston Martin last time. Now he is in a Mercedes AMG GT. And he gets a time on the board. Only the second driver to actually get a time on the board here, as Fabian Krebs had actually invalidated his lap time. So Sherlock currently has provisional pole position. Don't expect to see that stand, though. Metternich, oh, I can't remember what that stands for. Go to broadcasting. Jesse Metternich is currently position 2. He makes his way through Rouge and Radion. That's Radion, actually. And down the Kemmel Straight. 100th down on his previous time. Jordan Lake in the 296 GT3. Also going through Lake Holm. This is his second lap. His last lap was a 3:13, so it was definitely not a representative lap. Meanwhile, there's finally a time on the board for Fabian Krebs, an entire second quicker than Sherlock. So something like a 2:19. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought there was a car in the wall. No, it's just the camera angle in the pit lanes. And there's the confirmation. Fabian Krebs, 2:19.130 in the entire second. Exactly faster than Sherlock. And looking to improve already a 10th and a half up. Meanwhile, if we can find a certain Aston Martin, Khalid Malcolm is also on a lap here. Istee still has not got a time on the board. 2:20.7, and there's not much time left in qualifying. Fortunately, he has managed to cross the line with a few seconds to spare, so he will get a lap time in here. Other drivers, though, are not so lucky. Everyone finding it very difficult to keep it within the the confines of the track, and in fact, some drivers not even putting lap times on the board at all, including Angel, Voyand. Oh, damn. Lexi Slovak, 2.3 seconds down, is only managing a 5th place. Jordan Lake has just put it in P2. Bomberclat now across the line. Does he improve? He does by 2 seconds, but still not enough to move him above P7. Fabian Krebs looking to extend his current provisional pole position. No, I think he's just run out of fuel and he's aborted. What about Sherlock? He is up by almost 2 tenths. He's gaining so much, but I think that is going to be an invalidation there. 3 tenths up now, but still might not be enough for pole position. I think Istee has also aborted. I don't see the number 2 car there. What can Sherlock do? He's almost 4 tenths up on his previous best, but I don't think it's going to count. 6 tenths he made up just about there. He's going to lose it here, though, and he loses a lot of time. He does, at least, move into provisional 2nd place. Spicy Boy next. Goes 5th. Just in time. So there we go. Half the grid was not able to set a lap time, including Istee, who fails to get a representative time on the board, and will start the first of our 2 races tonight in last. Whilst Fabian Krebs takes pole position for this first 20-minute session. Testing. Yeah, there we go. Very silent from my phone. I thought for a second that I had forgotten to turn my microphone on or something. Oh, there we go. So, it's going to be a night race. We've lost someone. I don't know who. Maybe it doesn't matter. Right. So, Spa-Francorchamps, one of the most famous racetracks in the world. And to think that the FIA would want to replace it with some stupid street track that took 5 minutes to design. And would probably kill someone. Like Saudi Arabia, the Jeddah circuit. That almost killed Mick Schumacher. 1 minute until formation lap begins. And even though they've actually... they're starting ahead of the finishing line. So I guess that's just the timing line. And the actual starting lights are going to be further down. So past turn 1, I suppose. La Source. So let's see. La Source, Eau Rouge, Radion, Kemmel, Lecombe, Malmedy, Bruxelles, No Name, Pouhon, Fagnes, Campus, Stavelot, Paul Frere, Blanchemont, and the bus stop. I remembered all the corner names of a track for once. Yes! Though I think the Belgians call Pouhon double gauche, something like that. 3 seconds until session begins, and gotta wait a bit more. It's time to get going, and Jordan Lake getting a bit oh, yeah, a bit too racy on the start there. As the cars will roll through La Source. And Sherlock already taking a preemptive lead, even though he's not meant to. Ooh, there's a bit of phasing going on. Come on, give us a better camera angle. When do the lights go green? I think I see them just down there. There we go. We are racing for 20 minutes around Spa-Francorchamps, and Krebs holds on to the lead for now. There's a chaos going on. There's a car falling back that looks like there's a number 734. That's Voyander in the Huracan, who has lost it around Eau Rouge. Meanwhile, Metternich in P4 chasing down the 296. The newer car, whilst Krebs has lost out to Sherlock here just before Lacombe. And the Porsche leads another race, though he's going a bit wide on the exit of Malmedy. We need a better camera angle here. That's a bit too narrow. And there's... Oh, that was very close. From Spicy Boy in the red Ferrari back there. Almost made contact with his blue and yellow compatriot, who is currently in P4. Won't get another... Oh, there's been another spin. That's the number 5. Bomberclat. I do apologise if I have been mispronouncing that all season. We lost it around No Name somewhere. We lost... No, we haven't lost Royal Fusion. I don't know who we lost. I should know this. Helicopter cam giving us a very good overview of the situation. It looks like the M4 a bit faster in a straight line than the Porsche ahead of it. Everything's looking rather cluttered on the screen. Oh, bollocks, there's a 0 key. I don't remember what that does, if anything. I might need to check my streaming software just to make sure I haven't messed something up somewhere. Whilst Fabian Krebs is under threat from the 296 of Jordan Lake behind. The Ferrari looking quite quick. Can he make the move past the German machine in this penultimate race of the season? Cutting the corner at Radion there, as there are gaps forming in the field already. Krebs definitely has a straight line advantage here over the Porsche. Can he make it? He's diving up the inside, and he's forced Sherlock to take evasive action. Sherlock had to go off there, and that's hurt his race there. And he had to back out. Is Krebs handing him back the position? He has the inside for Broussel. I don't think Krebs is going to relinquish position here, though that will turn into the outside. Oh, there's a contact there. Definitely some sort of contact. Maybe there was a wobble. And Krebs once again relinquished to P2, under threat from the Ferrari of Jordan Lake right now, once again. And Metternich, the two Ferrari 488s, just behind. As Sherlock taking a bit of a liberties with the track limits, once again. I mean, everyone's been taking advantage of the track limits a little bit. Yes, that Ferrari 296 definitely looking quite good through the corners. Someone who isn't looking good through the corners, the Porsche of Sherlock. That's a terrible camera angle. I need to see above or underneath the spoiler, thank you very much. Yes, you can see the BMW inching closer to the Porsche, and it's gonna help Krebs here if Sherlock keeps going off the track like that. Sherlock defended to the inside. Oh no, Krebs is going round, and that's taken out. Well, maybe not taken out, but it's definitely impacted with the Ferrari of Jordan Lake, and now 3 Ferraris in a row, almost. Not quite, not anymore. The two older 488 GT3s are now on the lower two steps of the podium, after Krebs got a massive amount of wheel spin and was lucky not to end both his and Jordan Lake's race there. Meanwhile, Angel making, I think that was a very nice move there, for what I could tell. Or maybe Shlovic did not have a very good run through Radion. He's under attack from Baron van Bunker. I know who that is. That is Pookie in the yellow Iron Lynx Lamborghini Huracan. And he takes the position from the MG, though he's going rather wide there. Can't take too many liberties with the track limits, and there's another Ferrari right there trying to get past the Mercedes now. And there's Khalid Malcolm in the number 111 Audi R8. He started this season with 2, we are ending it with 1, and neither of the two original Audi R8 drivers are driving their Audi R8. Gotta say, I don't like these camera angles much. They're a bit too zoomed in for me. Not enough field of view. And there's someone we've been looking out for, Istee. Maybe he intentionally started down in last place. He's lost the he has won the championship, rather. So he doesn't really need to worry about holding on to his lead. Given himself a challenge, and now he's 2.5 seconds behind Khalid Malcolm. It's been a fairly eventful race for one of the Cybre Gorase M4s. The other one, Christian Dawn, is having a rather uneventful one. He only has the McLaren of Laurel Fusion for company here, who is within a second, but not massively close. Meanwhile, Sherlock just crossed the timing line. Not under any major threat. Oh, there has been a change somewhere. Spicy Boy has been overtaken by both Krebs and Lake, and now finds himself back in P5. Had a bit of a voice stop or something there. Meanwhile, Angel under threat from the Huracan. We don't often see the Huracans fighting up here. The ones that do get seen are usually further down, and we have not had many Huracans seen here in this championship anyway. Oh, there's a car going up the inside, oh no! And Pookie makes contact with the pink Porsche, and he instantly retires. Yeah, you don't really want that to happen. Apparently he's winning. So that was unintended consequences. There was contact between, I think that was Jordan Lake and... No, maybe it was Khalid Malcolm and someone else. I don't remember who it was anymore. Got a bit too focused on the Huracan. Oh dear. That's fine. Just making sure that things were okay. Right, so status of the race right now. Sherlock under threat from the 488 of Metternich. Now Metternich was pretty racy, pretty quick during the Silverstone race weekend, and could have potentially won it had he not bottled it at Stowe. Sherlock getting the chicane very nicely done indeed, whilst the 488 has to back off a little bit. In fact, had a much faster lap than Sherlock there, but the gap, hard to tell at the minute. 1 second, give or take. 1.7 back to Krebs, who is gradually dropping Jordan Lake, the Ferrari, not doing so well during this latter stages of the race. We are almost halfway through this 20-minute round. Thought there was a car stopped in the straight there for a second, then I remembered that is Baron von Bunker Pookie out of the race. And Spicy Boy trying to go for a spicy move on the Audi R8. That is not an Audi R8.
You're at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
This is a Ferrari 296 GT3. The successor to not just the 488 GT3, but the 488 GTE as well. This is the last season of GTE in the World Endurance Championship, and there's only GTE AM left. Next year we'll see GT3 cars in WEC, presumably in Pro and AM categories once again. Aha, now we can see a difference in setup, potentially, of the two Ferraris here. The 296 seems to be better through the corners than the 488, but the 488 was definitely going a bit faster down the straights. Meanwhile, the number 8 car, Brian Wilson, pitting. Sherlock has dropped Metternich by a reasonable margin. It's now 2.4 seconds back to the 488. And Sherlock looking to potentially win maybe his first race of the season. I don't remember, actually. I mean, I'd have the standings available, don't I? Let me just check. Now, I would bring them up, but I forgot to set that up, so we might have a brief something going on. Actually, I don't need to do that. We'll still have the race on in the background whilst I briefly check what the standings are. And if Sherlock has won a race, he has won 0 races. So, this could potentially be Sherlock's first race win, as he has extended the gap to P2 by an entire second already. And that is Fabian Krebs making his way past Jesse Metternich. I keep forgetting. I just see J and I think Johan for some reason. And I think that was potentially a mistake on Metternich's part. He's still currently P3. And we're going to see if he can retake that P2 from the BMW. Also closing the gap, Jordan Lake and Spicy Boy. This is turning into quite the fight for P2 here. What is the gap between Sherlock and Krebs at the minute? 3.5, 3.6, give or take a tenth or two. A hundredth or two, rather. Gap still quite nice. And Krebs still under threat from Metternich. Don't rule Jesse, the Dutchman, out here just yet. We'll see what he can do. As he had to lift off a little bit there, but then again, you kind of have to in a GT3 car. You can't take Stavilo flat like you can in an F1 car. You have to lift off. Going a bit wide there at Blanchimont 2. I wonder, is Krebs starting to catch Sherlock a little? I'm struggling to tell. Sherlock has a slightly faster lap than Krebs did. So at the minute, Sherlock pulling away just about gradually. And a fairly minor gap between the second place, the drivers in second, third and fourth, as well as back to Spicy Boy in fifth, though he's a little bit further behind. Yes, indeed, quite a bit further behind. Though it seems to have been a pretty good camel straight there for Fabian Krebs. Metternich Under pressure from Jordan Lake here. Jordan getting a little out of shape and perhaps out of sorts through Malmedy. We've got to be certain here. Oh, a bit of a slide there as well. Snap of oversteer on the exit of Bruxelles. Ooh, the gap between Sherlock and Krebs has fallen 2.8 seconds now. So now that Krebs is putting his foot down, he is catching Sherlock. But with 4.5 minutes left, and it's essentially going to be 2, maybe 3 laps. It's going to be a tough one here for Krebs to realistically do anything, but things can still happen. Sherlock has had troubles with this car at the last round in Brands Hatch, but this seems to be a much more suitable circuit for the 992 GT3 RSR. RSR GT3? Whatever. Ooh, and a little out of shape through the chicane there. Not too bad. The gap at the minute, 299. Ooh, 0.8 slower for Sherlock. So Krebs now catching at a rate of knots. We'll just have to see if that was a mistake on Sherlock's part and if he can re-extend the gap. Now, looking back at the current championship winner, the leader I suppose you might say, currently P7, he's got Khalid Malcolm and Alexei Shlovik for company. He is a second behind the AMG, a bit out of shape through Radeon, potentially under threat. That is not a Lamborghini, I got this confused by the V10 engine sound. It's the Audi R8 of Khalid Malcolm. And Istee definitely not happy with that car, though I don't think Malcolm is with his either. Ooh, at the front, meanwhile, Sherlock has lost ground quite substantially to Fabian Krebs. Now, we haven't been looking away from him for that long, but to have lost almost a second already, Krebs must be doing some real car whispering here, tire whispering or something, to be able to keep attacking Sherlock here. He is pushing. Foot to the floor, pedal to the metal. I wonder though, this will probably be the final lap, unless I don't remember how the timing works. Will it say this is the final lap when Sherlock crosses the line here? I think all he has to do is hold Krebs off for one final lap, and he could take his first victory of the season. But it's going to be a tall order now. I thought Krebs was not likely to win as he gets a big slide.
Right, man, leader is on the final lap.
Final lap. And Sherlock was an entire 2 seconds slower than Krebs. Look how much Krebs was gaining through the braking zone. How is he doing that, man? So it's now all up to Sherlock to hold this absolute monster of an M4. I wonder if that's what the M4 stands for. M Monster 4, and look how much he's closing through the Camel Straight. I don't think Sherlock has anything to hold him back with, except for defending the inside of this contact. Oh no! Contact! Where is Sherlock? He has managed to hold on. Krebs, though, flashing his lights. I think he feels a bit hard done by there. Cut a huge amount of Lake on, basically took a straight line there. And Sherlock might have some damage. He slides through No Name. This race is not over yet. Oh! Krebs gaining so quickly. I don't know how this is gonna go here. I wonder, there's gonna be some sort of investigation afterwards. Race timer has reached 0. We're passing through Fania now for the final time in this 20-minute first race of the night. Stavilo, essentially one straight left. Oh, there's been a spin for the number 10. That's Big Jabber, and in fact, he's not just spun, he is out of the race. I wonder if he ran out of fuel. One straight, one braking zone, one acceleration zone left for Sherlock to see if he can take P1 on track for the first time. I don't see what happened to Istee. He, I think, has been passed by Khalid Malcolm. Another slide for Sherlock, but it's not going to be enough to take P1 from Sherlock, who I think that win is going to be under question at the minute. That collision at the Lecombe corner, that is going to be investigated without a shadow of a doubt. Meanwhile, the champion has taken P8 on the road in the Aston Martin. Decent result after starting last. And we have 3 retirements from that race in the end. Oh, no, it wasn't. 2, I think, in the end. Jabber and oh yeah, Pookie, that was it. Oh, Bumbleclap losing it, but it doesn't matter. Right, so let's see how things shaped up. There we go, Sherlock took victory. Potentially, I kind of hope he keeps it. Krebs will finish P2, Metinik P3, Spicy Boy P4 after overtaking Jordan Lake. At some point, we were too focused on the lead battle. Then it was 14 seconds back to Alexei Shlovak in P6, half a second to Khalid Malcolm. Leral Fusion should have been about P9 because Istee left and rejoined. He's back in the Ferrari 488, number 105 for some reason. I don't think he meant to pick that one. Jordan apologising to Krebs for some reason. At 7:19, that was a while ago. So Istee's decided he's had enough of that Aston Martin. He wants his Ferrari back. But not his 296 Ferrari. He'll happily take his older Ferrari. And I think Krebs took the fastest lap of the race there, so... Yes. Now we wait for another 8-minute qualifying session. 7:54? What? It's only 7:38. Bomberclat from the future. Dun dun dun! Ah dear. I don't think the timings are matching up at all. And now we just wait, I guess. The session has ended. Oh, nice of you to notice. Oh, he did... Istee did eventually rejoin in the number 104 Ferrari. And he did finish P8 in the number 2 Aston Martin. Yeah, there we go. Positions 1 to 10. Angel took P10 in the Porsche 992. Fusion P9 in the McLaren 720S. Now we just gotta wait for the game to realise that the race has ended, and we'd like to go into qualifying 2 now, preferably. There we go. So, can Krebs make it another pole position in a row? We shall see. Or will Sherlock be able to hook them lap up this time? Or will Istee, apparently not in the 104 Ferrari, still in the 105, will Istee take pole again? Quite likely, given that he's now in his preferred vehicle. Car in the lead, number 1 apparently. Doesn't look like it. That looks like the number 420 to me. Anyway. Everyone's blue again. What's going on? So the majority of the field out on track has been a spin for Brian Wilson already at Brussels. Oh, and he has immediately gone back to the pit lane, so he's going to want to come out as soon as he can, because, you know, it takes about 2 and a bit minutes to go around this track in a GT car. So, Krebs entering the bus stop now, going a bit deep perhaps, and will be the first man to start a flying lap here, but not necessarily the first to put a benchmark time, or to put a lap on the board, rather, because it evidently seems like it's very difficult to stay inside track limits around here. Through Eau Rouge, and now Radion, and then Camel Corner, which is not really a corner, it's more of a kink, and now the Camel Straight, towards Lecombe. His teammate, Christian Dorn, just behind in the second Cybre Gorase M4 GT3. And I need to say something about the BMW M4. Those twin grills on the front, looking like that, hideous. I don't understand why BMW thought that was, thought that was going to look good. It doesn't. I think they've been smoking too much crack. Can I even say that? I hope we don't get banned for that. How dare they mention unspeakable stuff? I mean, yeah, it is unspeakable, isn't it? I hate this stuff. Not that I've taken it, mind you. Let's move on. Before we go into a tangent on stuff. Move back to the basic HUD here and see exactly where Krebs puts his car, or if he puts it anywhere, that is, seeing as he did just extend over the white line at Stavelot. Maxing out in 5th gear into 6th. And flat through Blanchimont. That is insane. In a GT car as well. Hard on the brakes now, though. Going through the bus stop. Can he do it? Can he put a time on the board? Yes, he does. 2:19.0. He does manage to get a benchmark time. What can his teammate do? He also gets a time on the board, but it's 2 seconds back. 2.5 seconds. Jordan Lake easily splits that. 0.3 behind, but then gets beaten by Spicy Boy. Number 10, Big Jabber. He's in an AMG himself. Only P6. Angel manages P4. Lateral Fusion has invalidated his lap time, as has Istee, only a 2:21 as well. Pookie, P5 for the Lamborghini Huracan. And then Alexei Shlovik in the silver AMG, as Jabber was in the black one, manages to put his car P6, a hefty 2 seconds behind Fabian Krebs. Meanwhile, Sherlock, 2.3 seconds down. He's not going to get a good lap on the board. In fact, it was an invalidation somewhere. Already gaining a little bit, but he's going to have to gain somewhere, seeing as he was so far behind. Metternich will be the next across the line. Once again, not everyone has come out of the pit lane here. I wonder if there's some quali bans of some sort going on. Metternich going a bit too far over the line there. Don't know if it will punish him for track limits. And in fact, the time has gone red, so I think that does mean that the time is invalid. Across the line, and the 2:19.5 doesn't move up the board. He has definitely invalidated that lap time. Krebs has not invalidated his lap, and in fact, he's almost... he's at the minute, he's half a second up. Can he maintain that improvement? He can do that, just about. And moves up to a 2:18.6. Christian Dawn has invalidated again. Spicy Boy has not. He's currently P2. 7.5 tenths behind Fabian Krebs. But he does not improve. Angel has invalidated. Jabber has invalidated. Fusion has not. Thought he was about to just there, but he didn't. And moves up to P6. 1.5 seconds behind. Istee, once again, has invalidated. He only had one more lap to get a time on the board. Pookie also invalidated. Shlovik has not invalidated. He's 4 tenths up nicely through the chicane. Oh, yellow flag somewhere. There's a car retiring. Shlovik moves up to P7. Khalid Malcolm invalidated. He does get across the line just in time to start a lap. Bomberclat racing to the line, and he does manage to cross it. Sherlock is going to be the first of the finishers here, and he only improves by a tenth. Only P6 for the man who started in second in the previous race. Qualifying attempt session. Bomberclat has elected not to finish his lap. He started it and almost immediately finished. Oh. Okay, some people have already retired, so their laps, as soon as they invalidated, they exited the session, more or less. Look at the improvement for Metternich, currently 11th, as he doesn't have a lap time on the board. 7 tenths, he was close to invalidating, and P2 for the Ferrari 488 driver, Christian Dawn, looking to improve his lap time, but he's lost a bit of time through Stavilo there, and he's down to 0.2 down. In fact, he's got damage to the front of his car. Well, that's not going to be helping him too much down the straights. And Spicy Boy improving by a huge amount, but unfortunately he has invalidated. Christian Dawn has also invalidated by the looks of things. Oh, and Fusion gets it all wrong at Blanchimont, and has also invalidated and loses it. Oh, and into the wall. What can Pookie do? He's got the yellow flag ahead. but slightly down. Can he improve through the bus stop chicane? He is at the minute, but he might lose it through the traction zone. And yeah, he does lose a little bit. It's an improvement, but not a huge one. Which means Alexei Shlovik will be the last driver to cross the line, and he basically matches his previous best. So Istee, once again, will start the race dead last. And because he chose a different car, if he'd been using the number 2, in fact, if he'd been using the number 104, he would be starting P12. Instead, he's using the number 105, which means he's starting dead last for the second race in a row. So, Krebs, 2 pole positions, the last of this current season. Nicely done. He's been more or less second best compared to Istee, who was pretty much unstoppable whilst driving that Ferrari 296. But now it's going to be a different story now that he's in a Ferrari 488. And maybe he's compromised himself, who knows? Metternich, P2, looking for a maiden victory. Spicy Boy also looking for a maiden victory. In fact, I think I need to bring up that those standings again. Let's see. Come on. So, Carter won a race at some point. I don't know who that is. Pookie won a race at some point. Spicy Boy did win a race. I don't remember which one. TomTom won 2, but he's not here. And Istee has won 3. So, and it's as was suggested, Istee couldn't handle the Aston Martin. He didn't like it much, so he switched to the Ferrari 488, which is not as good as the 296, of which there is only 1 on the field. Sorry, make that 2. I forgot about Brian Wilson. Which goes to show that just because the car is good,
30 seconds.
Driver skill is a completely different thing. Less than 30 seconds until formation running. Let's bring back the broadcasting screen thingy. Seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come on. It's time to go. There we go. We are moving for the final race of this season. Wake the F up, Samurai. We have a race to win. Yes, indeed. And can Krebs make it a final race victory of the season? We shall see. Lights are red. Waiting for the greens now.
Green light, show them where to go.
Green lights on, and the race gets underway for the final time in Season 1 of the GT3 Championship, and it looks like there may have been a bit of chaos already. Everyone cutting Radion a little bit. Spicy Boy already down the order a little, potentially. No, I don't think so. Oh, look who is up there. Baron von Bunker, Pookie, up to 4th and trying to make the move on Jordan Lake. Goes deep, but he's having to back off. He's gone too deep into Lecombe there. Meanwhile, Metternich has not had a good start. He is now under threat from Jordan Lake. Sherlock now trying to make his way past the Lamborghini of Pookie. Look at the dive bomb back there. That is Fusion. Level Fusion in the McLaren makes his way past Spicy Boy and with an incredible dive bomb. Didn't expect that one to work. And has now moved up to P6. Alexei Shlovic, sandwiched between a Porsche and a Ferrari. Can he make his way past Spicy Boy? Getting a little close. Christian Dawn in fact, is he overtaking Jabber or being overtaken by Jabber? I think he's being overtaken. The Mercedes gets past the M4. And now Christian Dawn under threat from Bomberclat, but then Jabber's made a mistake. And now he's under threat again. Going way wide. Oh no, that's a massive crash. Massive crash. That's taken Bomberclat out of the race. Evasive action being taken by Wilson. I'm surprised. I thought Istee got caught up in that. I'm surprised he survived. 3 cars. Khalid Malcolm, Bomberclat, and Jabber. I think Jabber has massive damage on his car here. I would be surprised if there wasn't. Right, breathe a little bit and take some drink a bit because I am... my throat is killing me already. Right. So, chaos on lap 1. We're probably going to have 18 laps here, give or take. Bit of a wobble through Radion for Krebs. Though, that's not going to allow Metternich to catch up a bit. The top 5 already pulling away at a rate of knots. Shlovic. So, okay, we're getting a few groups already. The top 5 consisting of Krebs, Metternich, Lake, Pookie / Van Bunker, and Sherlock. And then we have another 3, Fusion, Spicy Boy, and Shlovic. And 3.3 seconds back to Christian Dawn. Another 1.7, 1.8 back to Istee, who has, through that chaos, made his way up to P10. And if this was Formula 1 or WEC, this would be the points. And Jabber has retired into the pits. He must go, E-I-E-I-E-I-O. His car evidently too damaged to continue the race. Ah dear. And Jabber has left the session. There's no point to staying when you've retired. That's Jabber out for the season, the rest of this season, which is only 36 minutes left. But the GT3 is not over here at the Huts Gaming, as I struggle to remember the name of the league. I will briefly, let's see. Can I bring up the thing? Pay attention to the screen. We're going to be watching Krebs for now. Let's make this half the size. 720, 1280. It's not going to be the greatest. It's not even going to be see-through. It's massive, so I do apologize. It's going to take up a lot of the screen, if I can help it at all. Do we have anything interesting going on down the field? Not at the minute. Though Pookie under threat from the cars behind, so we won't be looking at our secret thingy at the minute. There's Jordan Lake and Sherlock wanting that last place on the rostrum that Pookie is currently inhabiting. 296 driven by a fairly capable driver, Sherlock, making his way through the field after he's only managed to qualify P6. It'll be a difficult race here for these three, as they are beginning to lose touch with the top 2. And the number 2 is losing touch with the number 1 at the minute. Spicy Boy losing touch to the leading pack, but gradually gaining or making space to the cars behind. Istee managed to get into P9 now, ahead of Christian Dawn, and now chasing down Alexei Shlovik. So, you know, we're going to take this opportunity to announce Season 2 of HUT's Assetto Corsa Competizione GT3 League. I do apologise for taking up the entire screen. This is how the driver lineup, we're going to have, I think that's 20 drivers and 12 rounds at the Nürburgring, Misano, Mount Panorama, Barcelona, Kyalami, Zandvoort, Suzuka, Laguna Seca, Brands Hatch, Spa-Francorchamps, Monza, and the finale at Monza on the 4th of August. And for a while it's going to be running concurrently with... Actually no, it's not going to be running concurrently with anything, my mistake. Thought it was going to be running with an F1 league at some point, but no, F1 23 releases on the day of round 6. So I imagine some people are going to be a little bit, well, I think the word is busy. So there we go, that is the announcement of Season 2 of the GT3 League. And we're all excited here for more great racing. And hopefully a bit more, something else to spice things up, as it's been a bit patchy here and there through Sector Season 1. We shall, hopefully, if we can... And I've forgotten what I was going to say. Oh well. Wouldn't be me otherwise. Maybe it will come back to me. Probably. So, Sherlock has lost touch. No, maybe he hasn't. He's passed Jordan Lake at some point. But he's not out of the woods just yet. Because obviously this Ferrari gonna be quite speedy. Oh, both going wide there. That's gonna open the door for Spicy Boy. And I thought it looked like there was perhaps a bit of lag or latency going on. Oh, 3 cars going a little wide on the entry into Baltimore. Sherlock looking rather vulnerable. He's got the outside for the bus stop. Nope, he's going to take a bit more speed through the first corner of the chicane. Take a bit less through the second corner. But manages to hold on to P3. What's going on? Nope, never mind. It's just the lap times popping up through the board. Istee, 2.5 seconds behind Shlovik. And Shlovik actually gaining a bit of time on Istee on the exit of La Source there. Sorry, I just like listening to the cars sometimes. It's hard not to just sit back and listen. Sounds in this game are not that bad. Especially when the cars sound good. Meanwhile, I thought there was Jordan Lake making his way past Sherlock. It was not. Oh, there's been a spin. And that's Christian Dawn. Lecombe reversing into the path of Brian Wilson. And he gets overtaken by Voyander and... is that Bombercat? No. Voyander and Wilson. So, oh no, that was Khalid Malcolm he was in the path of. Stupid plane making noises. Some sort of light aircraft. The gaps gradually opening. They're not so much in this battle for fourth at the minute. Pookie has put some distance between him and the fourth place driver as they keep fighting amongst each other. I thought that was Metternich having a spin or something. It was just the rumble strips making weird noises. Can Metternich hold off the charging bull? At the minute, perhaps not. Or 6/10 quicker on that lap for Baron von Bunker. Definite pace advantage over the cars behind as well, who are only managing 2:21s. It's going to be a difficult race again for Sherlock, who won his first race of the season just 10 minutes-ish ago, 10, 12 minutes, give or take. And now he's down in P4, which is looking like the best he can achieve here. Spicy Boy was getting a bit close to Jordan Lake there, but not able to make any moves just yet. And the Ferrari's definitely looking a little bit better through the corners than the Porsche. There's been another spin for the number 69, Christian Dawn at Radion. And now he finds himself dead last. That's going to be an ouch from me. Istee, meanwhile, has closed the gap to Slovak, who was 2.5 seconds behind the last time I looked. He's now only half a second behind the Mercedes. And it's only a matter of time before he makes the move. I jinxed it. Sliding through Campus Fania, and the gap increases to 0.9 of a second. Was fortunate not to go all the way around there, but he's going to have to make up some of that work again. Work that time back. I don't remember what the word is. Is that damage? That is definitely looking like damage on... Yes, that is a very damaged number 69 car. Which is not this car, even though it looks identical, except for the fact that the numbers are different. The 420 leading the way, 3.4 seconds ahead of Jesse Metternich, who has not been able to win a race. And Von Bunker, 3.7 seconds ahead of Sherlock. Only 1.4 seconds behind Metternich, but maybe not making the inroads that he would like to. Pardon me, in case you heard that. Oh, looking like there's going to be a change for P4 here. Spicy Boy going side by side with Jordan Lake down the Camel Straight. Lake has the inside for Lake Home, and Spicy Boy just has to back off. He was on completely the wrong line there, and actually still having the wrong line. It's impacted him all the way through Lake Home. And he's going to have to work for it once again. I wonder if Lake had made a mistake of some description there. Quite possibly. But that's allowed Sherlock to pull away a little bit. 1.2 seconds safe. Can we expect that gap to close at all? Perhaps. 1.2 seconds as it stands at the moment. Meanwhile, the gap between P2 and P3 still 1.4 seconds. Thought he was going to go into the gravel for a moment there. And he's got to rely on all of this V10 power, except there's, all that balance of performance stuff that goes on. Meanwhile, Fabian Krebs not Krebs, sorry, Christian Dawn has come in for a pit stop for a replacement of bodywork by the looks of things, perhaps new tyres as well, but that means he is more or less cemented in 15th position and last at the minute. Jordan Lake not able to close the gap by a huge amount. Pookie actually had a worse lap than Metternich there. Sherlock also had a worse lap. Jordan Lake and Spicy Boy had almost identical lap times, despite the fact that Spicy Boy had that horrific section through Lecombe and Malmedy, and he's still only half a second behind. What can he do here? Can he have a much better section here? Oh, he's going to have to lift off a little bit there. He cut way too much of Radion. Still 2/10 between him and the 296, and he lifts off again. So clearly making sure that he doesn't gain an illegal advantage of any sort, and stays behind the newer Ferrari for the time being. Istee has finally got past Alexei Shlovik. We didn't see the overtake on screen, but it's happened, and that's all there is to it. Christian Dawn has been lapped, and he's not just 15th, he is 15th twice now because he's been lapped by the entire field. His race is essentially done. Meanwhile, Istee 1.4 seconds behind Lero Fusion. Not cutting his way through the field like I would have expected. But he isn't exactly in his favourite car. He's in the old favourite. So, Spicy Boy again chasing after Jordan Lake. There's now 2 seconds between Metternich and Baron von Bunker, give or take. It looks like that anyway. And Spicy Boy seems to have a much better run through Paul Frere and Blanchemont than Jordan Lake did. We shall see how things are at the timing line. Krebs so much faster than the drivers behind him. Yeah, you can see Bunker quite a bit slower than Metternich in front. Spicy Boy 2/10 quicker than Jordan Lake, getting very close in the braking zone to La Source, and I think he had to back off a little bit there, lest he went straight into the back. So can he make the move here? As long as he doesn't... He didn't cut Radion at all. He is right on the tail end of that newer Ferrari. Can he make the move? He's going side by side. It's going to be the outside for Lecombe again. Apologies for the rapidly changing cameras, and he outbrakes himself. He's just not on the right line. Oh, and he had a big tank slapper there. That's going to hurt him for the time being, but there are still 20 seconds of the race remaining. And in the grand scheme of things, Spicy Boy did not lose a huge amount of time. He's still within a second, which would be DRS if this was Formula 1, but it's not. Now, someone we're going to have a brief look at is Christian Dawn. Never mind. He spun at Radion again. Just as I saw him...
Halfway mark, still a way to go.
I saw him gaining on Brian Wilson, and that had to be his newer tyres, giving him quite the advantage. I would have thought people would be pitting for tyres in a race this long, but maybe that's only in the hour-long races, where it's of any real consequence. So the battle for P4 is still hot. I know this is all we've really been focusing on. There's no real point in looking anywhere else because there's not as many battles, though Istee is catching Level Fusion. And this is a move that is probably going to happen eventually. We'll just watch the Ferrari here. Can he make the move on Fusion here? Oh, there is a car in the pit lane. That's Spunker. That's Pookie. He's come into the wrong pits here. Unless that's where you have to into the pits. Okay, yeah, that's where you have to enter the pits. It's a really long pit lane. So this... This could be one hell of a strategic call, but if no one else pits, then there's going to be a bit of a waste. He's just throwing away positions at the minute. That means Sherlock is currently P3 on the road, rather. And he's losing time. He's struggling to keep Jordan Lake behind now. The gap has shrunk by quite a substantial margin. It's only 0.3 of a second behind. It's the same for Spicy Boy, though. I wonder, are we going to see more cars pitting for new tyres? It's not something I expect to see. I feel like Pookie has potentially thrown the race away here, as he's not been too familiar, I suppose, with the strategies of things with the 40-minute race layout. Format, rather. Because no one tends to stop... Oh, guess who's just spun at Radion again? It's Christian Dawn. I think he's 2 laps down now. So who is under threat more here? Is Sherlock more under threat from Jordan Lake? Or is Jordan Lake more under threat from Spicy Boy? I thought, oh, that's it. It was definitely Jordan Lake having a bit of an adventure in the runoff. Spicy Boy sees his chance. Is he going to take the opportunity? No, he breaks a bit too early and will have to stick with P5 for now. Thought we might actually get some excitement in this race. Meanwhile, Fusion under attack from Istee 104, I suppose Istee 105 here. Can our champion make his way past the McLaren? It's too early to tell at the minute. Meanwhile, what can Spicy Boy and Jordan Lake do? There's too much of a gap between these cars. Oh, there's been a spin! Istee has crashed! He hasn't just spun, he crashed! Ah, he's got a light out. That's his race over. What a shame. He was making the move through Eau Rouge and Radion. I'm annoyed that I wasn't watching, but I didn't think that it was going to happen. Well, I thought the move was going to happen at Les Combes. There's another car going slowly. That is Khalid Malcolm, who might have potentially picked up some damage from that collision. Maybe, maybe not. So that's a great shame for our championship leader, our championship winner rather. What a disaster. And it's not been a particularly great race for Pookie here, who thought that there was going to be a pit stop somewhere in this race, and he calculated a pit stop. Everyone else decided to go, well, on one set of tyres. And Jordan Lake, his ARX Biscuit says that Jordan has to get a podium here. Well, we'll just have to see. That's not the camera I wanted. 0.3 behind Sherlock and the Porsche 992. It's looking a bit funky through the chicane. And Jordan was slightly quicker than Sherlock, but only by about 1/10 of a second, which isn't enough to make the move. And Pookie is probably wondering at this time, why is no one else pitting? We've had another spin. Ooh, looked like quite a pirouette for the number 734. Is he going to get in the way of Brian Wilson here? Maybe, maybe not. Ooh, make that a maybe. Well, he's managed to hold on to his car. I've been focusing on these guys as Brian Wilson tries to go up the inside. And it's thrown Voyander off a little bit. Ooh. Oh, Brian thought he was going to go around there. Might have called it dirty air. Meanwhile, the battle for what is third now is still raging on. These three have been utterly inseparable, which would be great if you were in a three-way marriage. Not so great if you're trying to, you know, hold on to a position here. Why did I... Never mind. So, the gap ebbing and flowing, rising and falling, but neither of these three drivers really excels anywhere. And in fact, I think Spicy Boy is beginning to lose touch, potentially. Nope, never mind, he was a second back. That's turned into half a second. This is going to be quite the race to watch. Which is the number 55? That is Metternich, 11 seconds behind the lead as Spicy Boy gets Jordan Lake into the chicane there. That came out of nowhere. Jordan Lake falls down to P5. What a maneuver. I did not see that one coming. It has come out of absolutely nowhere, and as long as these two keep fighting, that's going to solidify Sherlock's place on the podium. I wonder if Jordan has killed his tyres somewhere, and I wonder if Spicy Boy can Spicy Boy make up the time between him and the two cars that are sandwiching him? Can he gain on Sherlock? Can he lose Jordan? There are just over 11 minutes of this race remaining. Anything can still happen. Such as the number 52 of Pookie kicking himself for pitting when he probably shouldn't have. Yeah, 221.2, 221.8 for Spicy Boy, 222.6. So we'll see what the lap times are here again when they cross the timing line. But it looks like Sherlock is not having a smooth it's not smooth sailing for Sherlock here, is basically what I'm trying to say. Though his car is definitely a bit more controllable than it was at Brands Hatch last week, it's definitely not faring as well as he would like. He's losing time through Stavilo. Can Spicy Boy... Look how much Spicy Boy has closed through Stavilo. And now Sherlock has to try and rely entirely on straight line speed. Where is he going to plant that Porsche? At the chicane, it definitely is looking a little faster than the two 488ers. Look, that is Jordan Lake trying to go up the inside of Spicy Boy, and has that worked? It has. Spicy Boy back down to P5. He is getting the chicane all wrong numerous times. Meanwhile, this is going to be embarrassing. The number 69 of Christian Dawn has to make way for the number 420 of Fabian Krebs. That is embarrassing. It's like a Daniel Ricciardo situation in Monaco 2021. The number 734 Huracan has also had another spin. And that Christian Dawn having one hell of a time. His car not enjoying this circuit at all. Oh! Something has happened to Spicy Boy. I didn't see what happened, unfortunately. I was focusing too much on other cars. But now Spicy Boy is down to P7, behind Alexei Shlovik and Level Fusion. Which means the only potential challenge to Sherlock's P3 here is Jordan Lake, who has lost 1.7 seconds. I wonder if there was a collision between the two Ferraris, which is not really what you want to see. And that 296 definitely looking a bit of a handful through Pujol there. It's just a question if this is a not a terminal problem, but a problem that's going to last with him for the rest of the race. Doesn't look like it, as he is gaining a bit of time. So now that he doesn't have to focus on any cars trying to attack from behind, this is the perfect opportunity for Jordan to basically put all his focus, all of his efforts into getting P3. He was gaining a lot through the braking zone, actually. It did sound like that Sherlock was having to brake a lot earlier. Indeed, I think he did have to brake earlier. Jordan Lake, 8/10 quicker than Sherlock. Oh, but that's not going to help his cause any. That's not going to help his cause much if he has to. Well, he slid a little bit through the exit of La Source. Try not to slide. You want to at least finish in the points. If you can't get P3, at least finish the race in P4. Another yellow flag. That's Brian Wilson, who spun at Campus. This is where the race has been for this entire 40-minute race. We're 34 minutes in now. 6 minutes to go. It's just a question of how many laps will be left. I reckon 3, potentially. Maybe 2. We'll have to see where Krebs ends up. That's the wrong button. Where is he? Through... Ooh, that's the help button. Okay, so about 30-ish seconds, 20 seconds of his lap remaining. I wonder. In fact, he's a second down on his previous lap. Or at least his best lap. What a week for me. Knackered. I just want to lie down and go to sleep, but I can't just yet. Because Jordan Lake is now putting the pressure on Sherlock. Can he take a podium in the final race of the season? 3/10 quicker on that particular lap. Just under 5 minutes of the session remain. It was not over yet. Spicy Boy, I think, had a slightly quicker lap than Slovak. No, it was slightly quicker by about a 10th. Jordan Lake, though, has a very good run on Sherlock. He is doing everything he can. He's going to take the inside on Sherlock. And that looks like Sherlock's long defense of P3 has come to an end. And he's throwing everything he can into defending. But he just overdoes it. Jordan Lake takes P3. Now the question is, can he hold on to it? I think he can. He seems to have been the slightly more solid driver throughout this entire race. And of course his car has been a bit more on rails than the Porsche. Sherlock isn't going to let this go lying down. However, that's not quite how the saying goes. He's not going to take it lying down. That's how it goes. And he's still very close. So now he has to try and get back past. But with 3 minutes of the session remaining, this is the perfect position for Jordan. But Sherlock's still in a good position himself, and he's getting a better run through Stavilo. And he's going to potentially take the position back. They're going side by side through Paul Frag. They can't hold on to this through Blanchimont. Surely they are. They're going side by side. Oh, and Sherlock has to go off the track there. That will probably get called into question. But at the minute, Sherlock retakes P3 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the race remaining. I think there's going to be one more lap after this. There's enough time for Krebs to cross the line. Without a doubt, there's going to be at least one more lap after this one. These guys have just gone through La Source, and Krebs now entering Le Combe. And so, Jordan Lake, I think I might have accidentally called him Spicy Boy at one point, took a lot of the runoff at Radion. I think he was not having a good entry into the corner there. He's gonna go for it again. We've had a subscriber or something. I think if Jordan had gone for it, I don't know if he would have been able to keep that, but I don't know about the move that Sherlock made, going off the track to keep P3. Unfortunately, don't see who subscribed or followed or whatever. This race is not over yet. Jordan absolutely throwing his car around here. Can he make his way back past the Porsche? It's going to be down to the final lap. This is the penultimate lap. Krebs cannot really wait. If he did wait, it would not be for very long, because then he'd have to fight with Metternich again. Jordan Lake up the diffuser, right up the chuff of Sherlock's car. But following that closely is not going to be too helpful. 2:19.5 for Fabian Krebs. 14 seconds back to Jesse Metternich, and Jordan Lake has to go off. He's just pushing too hard. 2:21 for Metternich. The difference in pace between some of these guys is ridiculous. Meanwhile, Sherlock having a very bad chicane there. Look at them! They are separated by 0.02 of a second on that last lap. This is the last lap, though. The final lap of Assetto Corsa of Huts Gaming GT3 League on Assetto Corsa Competizione Season 1. And it's coming down to the wire for P3. Is this going to be a better exit for Jordan Lake? I don't think it is, though he is gaining a little bit down the Kemmel Straight. There's also some fighting going on further down the field. The number 42 being overtaken by, that is Spicy Boy, making his way past. the AMG, I do apologise for moving away from the P3 fight. But, oh, Krebs going round again! Plonks it in the wall! Krebs has been so unsettled this entire race. Meanwhile, Jordan Lake still chasing after Sherlock. And I don't know if he's going to get the position afterwards from a penalty or whatever. But he's been fighting so hard, you cannot fault him for some of these moves. He has been driving not faultlessly, but still very, very well, as has Sherlock. Both of these drivers doing everything they can to hold on to their positions, or to get the positions. This is going to be make it or break it for Jordan, as Krebs is going to cross the finishing line any moment now. Krebs takes the final victory of the season. Are we going to see a last lap dive bomb from Jordan Lake? Sherlock covers off the inside. They're going side by side. And Jordan Lake, is he going to take the position? It's going to be neck and neck. I think Jordan Lake has just about got the position. And Sherlock is going to be kicking himself. But that was one hell of an opportunistic move from Jordan Lake, and he is going to be whooping with the delight, I imagine. What a race in the end. Spicy boy. Oh, what's going on? Krebs is apparently P6. What? Hang on. Things going strangely. Let's go back to the garage and see the... Yeah, okay. Official race results after 18 laps. Fabian Krebs takes the win here on the 40-minute round. Jesse Metinek takes P2. Jordan Lake P3, just about by 0.008 of a second. Sherlock has to settle for P4, but who knows, maybe the FIA could get involved. Level Fusion takes P5. Alexei Shlovik P6, ahead of Spicy Boy. Oh, what? Pookie has an 80-second penalty? He did make the pit stop, and yet he still finishes P8. John Bomberclat P9, and Angel P10. And a race to forget for Christian Dawn. No, Sherlock is not kicking himself for that. He has the utmost respect for that move. Just damn. What a gap. Indeed, what a move. And we shall end things off with the final confirmation of our Season 2 lineup and calendar, which is going to start on the 12th of May, which is next week. Come on, I thought you'd give me a break at least. And of course, some of these are DLC maps, so I don't know if I'll be able to spectate on them. Oh well. Oh well. We shall see. In the meantime, though, thank you for watching, everyone. It's been a privilege, but of course I'm not going anywhere just yet. I can give my voice a rest now. It's time to go on a few days break, at least. Until next week for Season 2 at the Nürburgring. We'll see you then. Have a good one, and good night. Good night. Don't know why I spoke in German there.